Hi, I'm Brittany, and in this video I want to talk about what it means to have your Chiron in Virgo. So this is my placement, so I know a little bit more about it probably. But first of all, what is Chiron? So Chiron is the healing asteroid. It's considered a planet in most astrological software, and it really shows where our deepest wound is, but also where once we heal this wound, it becomes our greatest gift. So Chiron is really keyed into our life's mission and the path of our higher self. So people with Chiron in Virgo are naturally, I think, a little bit nervous, okay? And this nervousness is from this feeling of never being perfect, or a feeling of insecurity in the physical body. Like there's some fears around health, and there can also be some actual health problems, but more likely it's like hypochondriac type symptoms that we can have with Chiron in Virgo or Chiron in the 6th house. And really what these people end up learning is how connected the mind and the body are. So if you're worrying about getting sick all the time and you don't want to be around people that might breathe on you if they're sick, or you don't want to touch like gross, dirty things because ew, I don't want to get sick. If you go through your day-to-day life like this, you're gonna end up being the one who's sick, okay? And that's what you end up learning with Chiron in Virgo, is that the mind creates a lot of what is happening in the physical body. And it's the same thing, like if you're focusing on every imperfection in your body that you have, it actually blows up that imperfection and creates it even more. So like people with Chiron and Virgo could be having just like a slight problem, like let's say the throat is just like a little tiny bit sore, and then they start like freaking out about it and having all this anxiety, and oh my god, I'm gonna get sick and I have so much work to do, and holy shit, I don't want this to happen. Then the throat gets fucking terrible and they have strep throat, they have to go to the doctor, and it doesn't go away for like a month. Or this is what they can end up doing on the higher side is, oh, my throat's a little bit sore. I wonder what the mind-body connection is here, and I wonder what this means in relation to my emotional state and how I can heal this. So they end up having kind of a metaphysical understanding of health, and they can end up studying like energy healing, or like nutrition or the gym. They can get really into like the physical body and working out and seeing how much that benefits their health, and yeah, eating healthy, and then yeah, studying the mind-body connection and noticing, hey, when I'm worrying all the time about stuff, it's actually making my body less healthy. But when I'm feeling really happy and doing all the things I love doing, it's like my body naturally heals itself. So that's kind of one of the lessons that we can learn with Chiron in Virgo, is you become masters of the mind-body connection, and you can get really into like yoga as well, and breathing, and just embodying the physical body and loving it, and letting go of that critical voice in your head that's telling you all your imperfections, because that voice, it's just holding you back, because everybody has imperfections, but it's just you, Chiron and Virgo person, that chooses to dwell on them and drive yourself fucking nuts because of it. Yeah, so it's also a challenge learning to love the self and realizing that nothing is ever perfect and nothing is ever done. I know me with I have a tendency with this placement to always be like, okay, well, once I can look this way and be this way and do this, then everything will be perfect and I'll be happy then. But until then, I have to work really hard to be able to get there. But that's going about it all wrong. You have to be able to find peace in this very moment, wherever you are, whether you're in sickness or in health, and find peace with that moment, and that's when you can begin to be attracting a happier life. Otherwise, you're like yeah, you're like a hamster on a wheel. You're constantly searching for something better and looking outside yourself to feel good and thinking, well, once I can be healthy, then I'll be good, or once I can look this way, or once I'm fit, or once my skin is clear, or once my hair grows long, or once my tits grow big, then I'm gonna love my body. Like, that's where I was for a long time, and that's not the way to go about it. You have to love your body right now. You have to love yourself. You have to love your mind, even when you're in this worrying state. You have to just love yourself for who you are. And but yeah, the challenge is to deal with excessive worrying and nervousness, and develop like a spiritual practice. Develop a practice in your body. You need to be able to stay physical with this placement, because then if you don't, you'll get too caught up in the mind. But you also need to find some type of way to also make the mind more positive. So it's two things you got to do with this placement. Physical body, love it. Mind, clear the negative shit. Stop worrying constantly, because the worry is creating the health condition that is so painful for you. And that's what Chiron and Virgo's deepest pain is. It's likely it's a health problem, or it's also this is another side to Chiron and Virgo. And the 6th house is about health and day-to-day work situation, and it's also about service. Usually with Chiron and Virgo, there is some pain around the day-to-day life and the work situation. So if you have Chiron and Virgo, you're likely a little bit unhappy with your work situation, or at least have been at some point in your life. There's some type of pain of just going about your day-to-day life and waking up in the morning and going to work and coming home, and you feel really unfulfilled in that. And it's because you're needing to bring your healing energy into your job more. And maybe that means working for yourself, or maybe it means inventing some type of work that you can do that's not going to piss you off so much and make you sick. So there's a need for restructuring the day-to-day life and the work situation, and so that you can embody more love and joy in your day-to-day life. So there's some pain around work, but once you can heal it, you can actually love your work more than anyone else, because you are then doing it from a place of love and service. And that's another way to get out of the pain of this placement, is focusing on service. One of my favorite quotes ever, as being a particularly nervous person myself, is when you get nervous, focus on service. So how can I help people in this situation? How can I serve? That's gonna lessen a lot of the pain of this placement, when we can throw our heart wholeheartedly into serving other people. And then also magically, when we're really devoted to our work, when we're really devoted to a heart-centered service path, any health problem is gonna magically disappear. That's the secret, okay? And I mean, it might not totally, I'm not a doctor, don't quote me on this, but when you're living from a place of love and joy for your day-to-day life, your health is gonna really improve, because a lot of the times the health issue is showing us that some part of our life, likely our work, is not fulfilling to us. And there's some part of our physical self that we're not loving as much as we should be. What else? This placement is really powerful and magical, because Chiron technically rules Virgo. So these people can become some of the greatest healers. And you will have the ability to help people who are struggling in their day-to-day life, like people that are feeling misery in their work situation, or feeling super pissed off about their health condition. You will end up being the person that can help these people and heal them, because you will understand the energetics at work in the physical body, and you can understand the mind-body connection, or you'll end up studying nutrition or working out, or you'll end up with some type of expertise in improving the day-to-day life quality of other people. So that becomes your greatest gift. And yeah, you're likely a healer with this placement. And you're also very exact, and you're very good at working out details. You're very you're actually very good at working and being of service, because you really will understand that the meaning of life is to find our passion and then help others, and that becomes our work. And that's something that you're understanding. However, it can be difficult with this placement, and when there's a lot of misery in the day-to-day life, they can kind of come out, this placement can kind of come out as if like people that are super structured at work and they work really hard, they always are in for their hours, and then weekend comes and they totally let loose and get like hammered, wasted, do drugs, do crazy sexual experiences. Like they totally go the opposite of Virgo, and they like let it all go. And they will do this when they're unfulfilled in their day-to-day work life. So once you find fulfillment, you're not going to need to do these self-destructive behaviors on the weekend anymore, or even on the weekday. Like these people can get crazy because they're so wound up, right? There's a lot of tension and worry about health, and worry about the physical body, and worrying that we're not perfect enough or good enough. And once we can actually find peace in our day-to-day lives and in our day-to-day work, then we might not actually feel the need to escape it or numb these fears and insecurities so much. So that's something beautiful that can really happen here. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful. If it was, comment. Let me know your story of this placement. If it wasn't, comment. Tell me why I'm totally wrong about it. But no, I know a lot about this placement because my deepest wound was my health. For a lot of my life, I was very sick as a kid, and now I see totally clearly that I was sick because of my negative emotions and my negative states. And whenever I get sick now or start to feel something coming on, I can always correlate it to a negative emotion that I'm feeling. And you with Chiron and Virgo will have this ability if you don't already. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.